Have you ever noticed your dog staring into the distance, ears twitching, reacting to something you can't see or hear? It's not your imagination. Dogs sense things we don't. Their eyes and ears pick up details hidden from humans. Today, we're revealing 29 things your dog can see and hear that you can't. Some will surprise you, and others might even explain your dog's strange behavior. This video has 2 chapters. One, what they can see, and second, what they can hear. Let's get started. Chapter 1, 13 things dogs can see that humans can't. Number 13, ultraviolet, UV light. Humans need special lenses to see UV light, but dogs see some of it naturally. This ability allows them to notice patterns and details that humans miss. They can see markings on flowers that guide insects, follow urine trails left by other animals, and even detect differences in fabrics that appear identical to us. UV vision also makes certain objects glow in a way that humans can't perceive. Sunscreen, detergents, and some chemicals reflect UV light, making them stand out to dogs. This explains why your dog might sniff or stare at something you don't find interesting. Their world is full of hidden signals. Number 12, faint movements in the dark. Dogs have more rod cells in their eyes than humans. These cells help them see in low light. Even in near darkness, they detect tiny movements that go unnoticed by people. Imagine walking your dog at night. You see only shadows, but your dog suddenly stops, ears alert, staring into the distance. While it seems like nothing is there, your dog may have seen a small animal moving, a leaf shifting in the wind, or even a bug crawling. This ability comes from their ancestors, who relied on keen eyesight for hunting. Number 11, more shades of blue and yellow. People see a wide range of colors, but dogs see fewer. Their eyes lack red-sensitive cones, meaning they can't see red or green like we do. Instead, they see the world in shades of blue, yellow, and gray. But here's the interesting part. Dogs actually detect more shades within blue and yellow. A blue ball in the grass stands out to them, while a red ball may blend in. This is why many dog toys are blue or yellow. They're easier for dogs to track and fetch. So next time you buy a toy, pick blue over red. Number 10, high contrast in dim light. Dogs' eyes adapt better to low light than human eyes. This is because they have a larger pupil, more rod cells, and a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum. This layer bounces light back through the retina, improving vision in darkness. Because of this, dogs see sharper contrasts in dim lighting. While humans struggle to see details in a dark room, a dog can spot movement and shapes with ease. This ability is a survival trait, inherited from wild canines who needed to hunt at dawn and dusk when prey was most active. So if your dog seems to notice something in the dark before you do, they probably do. Number 9, bioluminescence in insects and fungi. Some insects, mushrooms, and even fish glow faintly in the dark. Humans can see this glow only in extreme darkness, but dogs, with their enhanced low-light vision and UV sensitivity, detect these glowing effects much more easily. Imagine walking your dog at night. While you see only shadows and darkness, your dog may notice a soft glow from certain mushrooms on a tree trunk or the faint shimmer of firefly larvae on the ground. Their world is full of subtle lights that go unnoticed by human eyes. Number 8, polarized light reflections. Dogs can detect polarized light, which helps them see reflections and glare differently than humans. This ability makes it easier for them to recognize water surfaces, glossy objects, and even hidden movement. For example, when you're at a lake, you might see the sun's glare on the water, but your dog can look past the reflection and spot a fish swimming near the surface. Their vision picks up subtle light patterns that help them process movement faster, which is why they react quickly to shifting shadows and sudden flashes. Number 7, infrared heat signatures to a small extent. Dogs can't see infrared light like snakes, but they sense heat better than humans. Their noses contain special receptors that detect small temperature changes, allowing them to notice warm bodies even before they see them. This skill is useful in the wild. A dog may sense the warmth of a hidden animal, a recently occupied seat, or even a person approaching from behind. Their whiskers also help detect warm air currents, which is why they often react to movement before they actually see it. Number 6. Fast-moving objects. Dogs process motion faster than humans. Their eyes refresh visual images more quickly, allowing them to track rapid movements that might blur in human vision. This ability is why dogs are excellent at catching frisbees, tracking fast-moving prey, and spotting a squirrel running up a tree in an instant. Even if something moves too quickly for you to focus on, your dog sees it clearly and reacts immediately. This is also why some dogs get excited by flashing lights or flickering shadows. They notice movement faster than we do. Number 5. Flickering lights, like TV screens. TV screens look smooth to humans, but dogs see something very different. Their eyes process images faster than ours, which makes older TVs and some digital screens appear as a series of flashing images instead of a continuous motion. This happens because dogs have a higher flicker fusion rate. While humans need about 60 frames per second for a screen to look smooth, dogs require a much higher rate. If you've ever noticed your dog ignoring the TV or looking at it strangely, this may be why. Newer high refresh rate TVs may appear smoother to dogs, but they still perceive motion differently, which is why some dogs react strongly to certain on-screen movements while ignoring others. Number 4. Hidden objects through movement cues. Dogs have a powerful ability to detect motion, even when an object is mostly hidden. Their brains are wired to track movement, allowing them to spot subtle shifts behind barriers, curtains, or furniture. This skill is a survival instinct inherited from their ancestors. Wild dogs needed to detect prey hiding in grass or predators moving behind obstacles. Today, this ability helps dogs notice a toy rolling under the couch or a small animal darting behind a fence. Even if something is barely visible, your dog picks up on the smallest motion cues and instinctively tracks them. Number 3. Changes in facial expressions quicker than humans. Dogs are experts at reading human faces. They notice tiny changes in your expression, sometimes before you're even aware of them. A small twitch in your eyebrow, a slight shift in your mouth, or even a change in the tension of your face can signal a different emotion to a dog. This is why they can often sense when you're happy, sad, nervous, or upset, even when you're trying to hide it. This ability helps dogs understand their owners, react to emotions, and form deep connections. It's also why they can tell the difference between friendly and unfriendly strangers faster than humans can. Number 2. Reflections on certain surfaces differently. Dogs see reflections on mirrors, glass, and water differently than humans. Since their eyes are built for motion detection rather than detail, reflections may appear distorted or less meaningful to them. Some dogs completely ignore mirrors because they don't rely on visual identity like humans do. Instead, they use scent and movement to recognize others. This is why some dogs bark at their reflection while others show no interest at all. Water reflections can also appear different. While we see a clear mirrored image, dogs may notice rippling distortions or light shifts instead. Their world is shaped by movement and contrast more than fine details. Number 1. Subtle differences in identical human twins. Identical twins often look exactly the same to humans, but dogs see and sense small differences that we miss. Dogs notice tiny variations in facial structure, movement patterns, and even slight shifts in posture. While these differences are too small for human eyes, they stand out clearly to dogs. In some cases, a dog's ability to tell twins apart comes from scent rather than vision. Even identical twins have unique smells due to differences in diet, environment, and personal habits. Trained detection dogs can distinguish twins easily, proving that their senses pick up far more detail than we realize. Chapter 2. 16 Things Dogs Can Hear That Humans Can't. Have you ever seen your dog suddenly perk up, tilt their head, or bark at something you can't hear? It's not your imagination. Dogs detect sounds that are completely silent to us. From heartbeats to earthquakes, their ears catch frequencies beyond human limits. What are they hearing? Let's find out. Number 16. Ultrasonic sounds, above 20,000 Hz. Dogs hear much higher frequencies than humans. While we hear up to 20,000 Hz, dogs detect sounds as high as 65,000 Hz. This allows them to pick up on noises that are completely silent to us. Some electronic devices, like televisions, fluorescent lights, and even phone chargers, emit ultrasonic sounds. Dogs might react to these noises by tilting their heads, whining, or leaving the room. Squeaky toys grab their attention because they mimic the sounds of small prey animals. This triggers their natural hunting instincts, making playtime more exciting. If your dog reacts strangely to certain electronics or random high-pitched sounds, their advanced hearing might be the reason. Number 15. Rodent communication. Rodents like mice and rats communicate using high-frequency sounds. These squeaks and chirps are too high-pitched for humans, but dogs can hear them clearly. If your dog suddenly fixates on a wall, floor, or attic space, they might be hearing rodents talking. They can detect these sounds long before we notice any signs of pests. Their sharp hearing makes them excellent at sensing unwanted critters in a home. If your dog acts unusually focused on a certain spot, they might be picking up on rodents we can't hear. Number 14. Bat echolocation clicks. Bats use echolocation to fly in the dark. They produce rapid clicking sounds, which bounce off objects and help them navigate. These clicks are ultrasonic, meaning they are out of human hearing range, but dogs can hear them. If your dog becomes alert at night, especially near trees or open spaces, they might be reacting to bats flying overhead. Some dogs perk up their ears, follow sounds with their eyes, or even bark at something that seems invisible to us. For dogs, the night is filled with sounds we don't notice. Their sensitive ears allow them to hear the hidden activity of nocturnal animals, making them more aware of their surroundings than we ever could be. Number 13. Dog whistles. Dog whistles produce high-frequency sounds that humans cannot hear. While the air around you seems silent, your dog hears a loud, clear signal. These whistles are useful for training. They cut through background noise and catch a dog's attention instantly. This makes them effective for recall commands, especially in outdoor spaces where voices might not carry well. Because humans can't hear them, dog whistles allow quiet communication. You can use them without disturbing other people, making them a popular choice for professional trainers and pet owners alike. Number 12. Earthquakes before they happen. Many dogs show unusual behavior before an earthquake. They might pace, whine, or try to hide. Scientists believe dogs sense these natural disasters before they happen. Earthquakes produce seismic waves that travel through the ground. Some of these waves move faster than the actual shaking. Dogs can detect these vibrations before humans feel anything. This explains why dogs sometimes act anxious before an earthquake strikes. Their heightened senses allow them to react early, giving a silent warning that something is about to happen. Number 11. Infrasound. Low-frequency waves below 20 Hz. Infrasound is a deep, low-frequency sound that humans cannot hear. Dogs, however, can detect these vibrations from miles away. Storms, earthquakes, volcanoes, and distant explosions all create infrasound. This might explain why some dogs react to thunder long before humans hear it. Their ears pick up on deep rumbles we don't notice. Many animals use this ability for survival. Dogs may become restless, bark, or seek shelter before a storm arrives. Their sharp hearing makes them excellent at sensing approaching danger. Number 10. Electronic device buzzes. Some electronic devices emit high-frequency sounds that humans cannot hear. Televisions, fluorescent lights, and phone chargers create a faint buzzing noise. Dogs have sensitive ears that pick up these sounds. If your dog avoids certain rooms or looks uneasy near specific devices, they may be reacting to this noise. Turning off unused electronics or switching to quieter models can help. Paying attention to your dog's reactions can reveal which sounds bother them the most. Number 9. Heartbeats from a distance. Dogs can hear a human heartbeat from across the room. Their sharp hearing detects subtle changes in rhythm and speed. This explains why dogs often sense emotions before people speak. If you feel anxious, excited, or scared, your heart rate changes. Your dog hears this shift and reacts to it. Some service dogs are trained to listen for irregular heartbeats. They can alert owners to medical issues before symptoms become obvious. This skill makes them valuable companions for people with heart conditions. Number 8. Termites inside walls. Termites chew through wood, but their sounds are too quiet for humans to hear. Dogs, however, can detect these tiny movements inside walls. Pest control companies sometimes use trained dogs to locate termite infestations. A dog's ears can pinpoint activity before visible damage appears. If your dog stares at a wall, tilts their head, or paws at a specific spot, they may be hearing something inside. Paying attention to these signals could help identify hidden pests early. Number 7. The sound of blood flowing. Dogs hear blood flowing through veins. This might seem impossible, but their hearing is so sharp that they detect the subtle whooshing of circulation. Some medical alert dogs use this skill to recognize changes in a person's blood pressure. They hear shifts in blood flow before symptoms appear. If your dog ever seems to react to you without an obvious reason, they might be listening to your body. Their ears pick up things humans cannot sense. Number 6. Crickets or insects at extreme distances. A quiet night may seem peaceful to humans, but to a dog, it's filled with tiny sounds. Crickets, cicadas, and rustling insects create a constant background noise. While humans need silence to hear a cricket nearby, dogs catch these sounds from great distances. Their ears are built to detect faint noises across large areas. To them, the night is never truly silent. They hear the world in a way we cannot imagine. Number 5. Distant thunderstorms long before humans notice. Dogs often sense storms before humans hear thunder. Their ears detect low-frequency rumbles from miles away. This explains why some dogs become anxious long before a storm arrives. They hear the first distant rolls of thunder while the sky still looks clear. If your dog suddenly acts nervous, paces, or hides, they might be warning you about an approaching storm. Their hearing works like a built-in weather alert. Number 4. Changes in tone and stress in human voices. Dogs don't just hear words, they hear how you say them. They detect small changes in tone, pitch, and stress. If your voice is calm, they feel safe. If it is tense, they sense something is wrong. This is why dogs react before you fully express emotions. They read your feelings through sound, even when you try to hide them. Your voice tells them everything they need to know. Number 3. Muffled sounds from inside closed spaces. Dogs hear through walls and closed doors. Their ears pick up muffled voices, distant whispers, or footsteps behind barriers. This explains why a dog suddenly reacts when no one else hears anything. They detect quiet sounds humans cannot pick up. If your dog stares at a wall, tilts their head, or barks at an empty room, they might be hearing something hidden from you. Number 2. Vibrations in the air before a sound is fully audible. Dogs sometimes react before a sound reaches human ears. They detect tiny air vibrations that signal an approaching noise. This is why a dog responds to footsteps in the distance before humans hear them. Their ears sense the movement of air before the sound itself becomes clear. If your dog perks up or becomes alert before you hear anything, they are picking up on the invisible signals traveling through the air. Number 1. Silent alarms and security system signals. Many security systems and alarms use high-frequency signals that humans can't hear. Dogs, however, detect these sounds easily. If your dog suddenly reacts to an alarm that seems silent, they are hearing something designed to be undetectable to humans. Their ears never miss a sound, even the ones we don't know exist. Your dog experiences the world in ways we can't even imagine. From seeing UV light to hearing earthquakes before they happen, their senses are truly incredible. If you learned something new today, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe Positive TV for more amazing facts about dogs. Let us know in the comments, have you ever noticed your dog reacting to something invisible? We'd love to hear your stories.